What's up, everyone? This is Devin, and we're back for our sports talk NFL version now. We still got Austin in studio and Cabby on the phone.
What's up?
Hello.
So we're going to go into NFL with the crazy week one that we had. I mean, man.
That was so stupid. God.
I don't think any of us.
It was so dumb.
Yeah. If you were taking underdogs last week,
Right?
you would have made. Yeah, we weren't taking underdogs, but if you did, man, you made some money.
Yeah.
So,
No, I think out of we were talking before this. I was just looking at my bet from last week. My 5-leg parlay. Only one of the legs hit.
I was going to look at mine because I want to say I think 2 hit. Caleb, how many did you hit? Do you know?
I think only like one of mine hit.
So, I just couldn't believe it.
We went all favorites, which obviously we know that's not going to happen. Not every team favorite is going to win. But, man, I didn't think it would play out like that.
Yeah. Baltimore Ravens hit for me. They were just -1. And Chiefs were 0, and they won. But Broncos just had to win, basically. Bengals just had to win. Colts just basically had to win. And
Right.
49ers just had to win. None of them could do that. They were all the favorites.
Yeah.
By like 7 points,
They
too,
were,
for most of
those
them.
were like the higher favored,
Yeah.
you know?
Like
So,
everyone that I took was, obviously because it was a 6-point teaser. So Broncos were basically a touchdown. Bengals were basically a touchdown. Colts was a touchdown. And 49ers was a touchdown they were supposed to win.
Right.
It's
fucking stupid.
stupid.
Yeah. But the Bears 49ers game was kind of whack because of the rain.
Yeah.
I mean, the field was basically flooded.
Well, I think it was Justin Fields that, went and, there's a bunch of them that went and, like, slid in the mud at the end. Like Justin Fields, I think it was, that went and slid, and I think he went, like, 10 yards.
Yeah, he did. He was freaking. So, I mean, that game kind of ruined any sort of betting that anybody did.
Yeah.
I mean, with running, throwing, anything, I mean, they can do anything. So, that game was kind of weird. I don't know. Joe Burrow just didn't look good. I mean, 4 picks. What the hell, man? I mean, I think he was just kind of coming out and.
I think that just shows you, like, when, like, your starters, like Joe Burrow's team, like, a lot of the starters didn't play during the preseason.
Right.
I almost think that last game, you need to let them play a little bit more. So that way they're
1 quarter on the way or something.
to get the, like, cobwebs shook off as they go in. I mean, yeah, you practice and you try to go as live as you can, but that's nothing like.
Right.
I know they're like, oh, we don't want them to get hurt before the regular season. Well, if they're gonna get hurt, they're more likely to get hurt from not playing and then go in and play that. So I don't know. To me, they need to start trying a little bit more. Like maybe that last game, in preseason game, like we're going all starters to start the game, at least for the first half.
Yeah, they were shaky. Like I said, 4 picks from Joe Burrow. That kind of, I don't know if it's him trying to come out and just prove he's still the Super Bowl quarterback from last year. So I'm gonna just chuck it. But which he still did. I mean, I think he threw for 360 plus yards. So.
Yeah. So, this week we got Thursday night kicking off with Los Angeles Chargers versus Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs, I believe, are heavy favorites in this one, right? They're like 2.5. Well, it's only like 2.5 for 3, I think.
4.
4 is what it's up to. So
What a
Keenan Allen's out.
yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I feel like Chargers got enough weapons to not necessarily replace Keenan Allen because Keenan Allen's really good, but still fill that void to where they're not losing a lot.
yeah, and it's at Chiefs, so that makes it a little bit harder.
Right.
I mean, with the NFL and with betting, from what I understand, and if you're at home and it's going to be close, it's a 3-point favorite. So really, they're only giving Chiefs a 1-point favorite over. I kind of like Chiefs a little bit more on this than.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if I would take them for. Well, yeah, I would say a touchdown. Chiefs by a touchdown is what I go with.
I'm going upset Chargers by 3. Because
I am also going up to that.
yeah, I like Chargers. As I said last week, I think they have one of the best teams in the NFL, if not the best. And even with the loss of Keenan Allen, like I said earlier, I think they can still fill that void with the weapons.
I don't know. Like, to me, Chiefs, at least last week, I think with losing all the, like, Tyreek Hill, that they're playing with that chip on their shoulder of everyone telling them that, they're done now. They lost their weapons. They're not going to be good. To me, they look like they have a chip on the shoulder.
They looked fucking good. I'm not gonna lie.
And I mean, Chargers look good too. Don't get me wrong; they looked, about what I guess I expected, but
Right.
Chiefs look better than what I expected.
I will give you that. The Chiefs did look a lot better, and Patrick Mahomes is freaking insane.
Yeah.
But I'm not
Well,
I'm not going back on what I said.
the only other thing that would change my mind is if his brother that lives in LA now shows up at this game
Oh,
and is on the sideline doing TikToks.
Yeah.
All right, then the Chiefs are gonna lose.
fuck that Jackson.
Jackson Mahomes being
Yeah. No, I don't know. They both. This is what a Thursday night game again.
another
Back-to-back,
good Thursday.
Yeah. So I mean, last week didn't play out like we thought it would. Honestly, the Rams kind of look like dog shit, but it was supposed to be a good game. Same with this week. I think.
Yeah.
I think this is actually going to be a good game, though.
I think so too. I think it'll be. I mean, tickets are up there. Tickets are $113.
Jeez.
It's like the cheapest ticket. So
Wow.
All right, we'll jump into Sunday's games. We'll start off with our home Lions team that unfortunately just quite couldn't get it done like normal. Oh,
Man, that
with
sucked.
and they're playing Washington Commanders. Right now, Lions are actually favorite by 1.5 points.
The first time in 24 games.
Yeah, and now that I think they're giving them the favorite because it's at the Lions.
Yeah. And if it's anything like last week, that stadium was rocking.
Yeah, man, if I didn't have Keegan's wedding this weekend, tickets are at $37 right now. You can get tickets for.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, they're upper decks, but
Right.
that still would be.
They had them on sale, lower deck for 40.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could have. But yeah, I don't know. This one scares me. Cabby and I were talking, and it's the Lions, so I'm gonna go with Commanders. And I think the Commanders actually looked pretty good. Carson Wentz didn't play bad.
Yeah, they look
honestly.
better than I thought they would.
Yeah. So I mean, they're an upgrade from last year, and last year they were decent. And I'm going to, if I had to pick one on this, I'm going the Commanders money line.
That's kind of where I'm leaning. If anything, I might throw like Commanders in a teaser, and so that way tease them up to 7.5 points.
Yeah.
So that way it gives them just over a touchdown. You know, I see it, if Lions pull it off, it's gonna be close. It's gonna be like a 3
It's
point.
going to be close.
It's gonna be like a 3-point game or something, or
Right.
but so
No, the Lions look good. They can prove I think both teams prove they can score. So I would go over here. I mean,
yeah, I would definitely look. I'm kind of surprised they only have it at 48. I would have expected more like a 50.
yeah, because last week Lions put up 35 on the Eagles, and Eagles is a good team.
Yeah, I think Washington does have a little bit better defense than the Eagles.
Yeah.
I would say. Do you know how many points Washington put up last week?
Like 22 or something like that.
28.
28. Yeah.
So 28 and 30. I mean, that's looking like a 60-point total.
All right. So, and I think both teams are capable of doing that again.
Yeah,
So
I think Detroit's defense needs a little improvement this week to be able to help
Yeah.
with stopping Carson Wentz. And
yeah, they have a young defense. I mean, Okuda looked really good, but other
Yeah,
than him,
well,
I didn't really see anybody.
What do we have? We have Aiden Hutchinson on end, and then we have
Rodriguez,
Yeah.
starting linebacker. Alonzo's not terribly young, but then two young corners.
But I mean, think about it. Your defensive end and your defensive linebackers are like two of your biggest defensive positions, and we have young guys like
Yeah.
rookies playing,
Oh yeah.
starting. So I mean, as much as I know they're good, it's also like welcome to the league, boys.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a little bit different. So like what was it, TJ in Hard Knocks, getting
Yeah.
the lick on
Oh yeah.
and
Yep.
Aiden.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
But-
got his wake up call.
Yeah, it was a wake up call, but at the same time, it's kind of expected early, not pay attention to that. And you look at him, he still got up and tried to make a play or something. So
Right. Yeah. I mean, honestly, Aiden didn't really do jack shit last week, so
no, not
maybe
even
look for him to have a bigger game this week.
Yeah, and I'm sure there was some first game start type of jitters. So
nerves.
Yeah.
Same with Rodriguez. I mean, Rodriguez, I didn't think played that great, but I was happy to see him get start, and I'm sure Cavi was too.
yeah, and for him, I think he was a little impatient to me. Like watching some of his stuff, he was kind of like moving forward to like the whole. And with the NFL, your hold doesn't always develop where Like a
Right.
college. In college, it's like, okay, we're going to go here, and typically it's there 90% of the time.
Right.
Where NFL, it kind of shifts, You'll watch it start to develop here, and then also someone that goes to the second level, and it develops this way. So,
Right.
So the whole kind of moves in the NFL a little bit more than I think than like college. It's like, here, go.
Yeah, exactly.
Where NFL, it's like, you're going to go here, and then you're going to go this way. It's
Yeah.
like a tunnel.
I expect them to play a lot better defensively towards the end of the season when, these younger guys are starting to pick up schemes and stuff a little better.
Yeah.
But yeah, for now, I would expect them to hit the over here.
Yeah, I would definitely look at the over. We'll jump to game next one, Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus New Orleans Saints. And right now, it is Bucks by 2.5. This one's a tough one to me.
I know.
I don't really have a good feel either way.
I think I'm hitting Bucks minus 2.5 for sure. I know what I said last week, but after watching how the Saints just played against the Falcons, they didn't look that great.
No, and the Falcons are not very good.
The Falcons aren't very good. I don't know. I will say the Saints offense, they have a lot of potential there. I mean, there was a lot of upside. So maybe it was, again, first game jitters. So the Saints could come out and play well. I don't know.
I can't believe the ticket prices on this game. They're up to 109.
Jeez, yeah. We were saying these guys are going to be the top two in the division. So
yeah, that and then Tom Brady. I
yeah.
guarantee you watch every Tom Brady game, tickets are going to be high.
Yeah, just because this is probably his last year.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know. I think the Bucks are going to win by a touchdown.
That's where I go. That's just kind of my thought. I think they win. I guess I don't have necessarily if they're going to do a full touchdown or not, but I say the Bucks win, and is where I go. I think they cover the 2.5. I think it's at least 3, I guess.
Yeah.
I had to pick a point spread. So, all right, we'll move on to Patriots versus Steelers. I don't know. I thought they were saying Mac Jones is day by day. I don't know if he's necessarily going to be starting this week or not, but they're 2 points favorites still over the Steelers, and Steelers actually looked pretty good to me, like watching the highlights and stuff of their games. I don't know. I'm kind of on Steelers here. Definitely, if Mac Jones doesn't get to start, I'm like,
right. Yeah, because I don't know. I don't want to say Steelers, but they did just beat the Bengals.
yeah.
And I don't think Trubisky looked good at all, but maybe you're going to hear this a lot from me today. First game's jitters. But maybe those come out and he actually settles in. It's a new offense. He hasn't started in over a year. So I think if he finds his playmakers, I think the Steelers could definitely hit them. So I might go money line Steelers.
ESPN staff writer Mike Reese says Mac Jones practiced in full Wednesday and said he expects to play against the Steelers. His exact words were, "Yeah, I'm good," he remarked of his back. Jones said, "Feeling good, keeping it warm, throwing the football." What he said. So Mac Jones is playing, but Trubisky just scares me so bad.
I know.
With the Steelers, and so I really want to take him, and I may even take him and put him in a teaser type
right.
Give it because
Give him some more. I don't know. I think I might go money line Steelers here, especially with how the Patriots looked last week. I mean, obviously, I know it's the Dolphins, who we're really high on Dolphins. They look good.
Yeah, our question mark was Tua, and Tua actually didn't play bad. So.
Right. So, I don't know. I think the Steelers looked better than the Patriots.
Yeah. So we'll go on. Next game with the Dolphins. We'll go Dolphins versus Ravens. Ravens are actually the favorite in this by 3.5. Now, I guess I don't really remember. Who did they play last week? Oh, they played the Jets. So they won 24-9. I think, right now they have it 3.5 points to the Ravens. I know at the Ravens. I think this is going to be a good game. I think this is the game I'm going to be trying to find to watch.
Oh, yeah. Kevy, I haven't heard a lot from you. What are you thinking here? I'm curious.
This one's a tough one. I'm really high on the Ravens or on the Dolphins. And yeah, they played the Jets, but it was a much improved Jets from last year.
Right.
And for being week one, both of these teams kind of did what they were supposed to do. And I like Dolphins here. I think they're going to continue to improve offensively and when they get more comfortable with their receiving core. and their defense flies around. So I think J.K. is still kind of questionable, and if he doesn't play, that's going to be a big factor for the Ravens. So I kind of like the Dolphins there.
Yeah, and think about, Dolphins beat Pats by, I think, what was it, like 23-7 or 20 something to 7.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Ravens beat Jets like 26-9. So both teams won, substantially. They both put up a couple touchdowns. So, I mean, I guess who do you put as a better team? Do you put Jets better than Patriots? I mean, to me, no. Oh, so I kind of like, again, I'm leaning towards throwing just because of the points. It makes me feel better in a teaser. I just like having the points on my side. So
yeah,
there's like about 3 or 4 games this week that I think I'm throwing in a teaser. I think that you're gonna hear that's my bet at the end of this, since we're all down $5.
I know. I think this is definitely within a 3-point game, so I might just favor Dolphins here.
Take the +3, so that way even if they win by 3, you're good, and then if they lose by 3, you're still good.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and I kind of agree with what Cavi had to say. And I just like the Dolphins this year. I mean, I think they look really good. They have a good offense. They have a good defense. So we'll see if they can hold their own against a good team.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on. Colts versus the Jags. Now, I want to say Colts are going to win this, but...
Oh, my God. Are you? Yeah.
After
fucking Colts. Jesus.
The tie last week, right? They tied.
Yeah, they tied.
With the Giants, Houston Texans.
With the Texans, who we were saying was the worst team.
Yeah, the worst team, I would say, in the league. So, man, I feel bad for Colts with that game. I mean, I guess this will be week 2 of like kind of a warm up almost for them, because after this they got to go to Kansas City and they got to go to Tennessee.
Yikes. So they have to get a win, otherwise it's like, well, shoot, our season's already not looking good.
Yeah, I mean, Tennessee obviously didn't look great, but I still think they're going to turn it. To me, Tennessee will turn it around. So I guess I don't know. Do you think Matt Ryan can fix what's going on, or?
Yeah, I don't. He played pretty good, right? He had 300+ yards.
Yeah, I mean, stats wise, he's played good. And I mean, they kind of put it more on their defense.
Jonathan Taylor looked really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's just their defense, and their defense is usually pretty good. I mean, they have good playmakers.
They were missing a few people on defense, a few key players and a couple were playing that were beat up. So, and I think they're all pretty much healthy this week. And I just don't see how the Colts don't cover here. I think week 1 was definitely a fluke for them.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they had one of the best defenses in the league, and they just kind of struggled a little bit. And their offense is, I mean, you have Jonathan Taylor, your offense.
Jonathan Taylor, 161 yards. Matt Ryan threw for 352 yards. So stat-wise, just looking at their offensive stats, you would have like, oh, they won this game.
Right. Michael Pittman, he had like
121 yards receiving. So, I definitely put it on their defense. I mean, looking at the stats.
I don't know. Maybe we hammer this one. Maybe this is a hammer, -3.5. Maybe we're just thinking too much about it.
No, definitely 3.5 hammer.
That's what I want to say. Like, my gut says hammer it. That's like where I go.
It looks like the Jags have way too many question marks too right now.
Jags, like
between running backs, I mean their defense. Honestly, Walker looked pretty good. I mean, he kind of proved that. Yeah, I should be #1 pick. He had an interception.
Colts are still pretty banged up. Like right now on their injury report list on ESPN here, they have 5 players. They have Alice Pierce as a receiver, D. Frost, which is a defensive tackle, Kenny Moore, which is a cornerback, Michael Pittman's even questionable, and then Shaquille Leonard as a linebacker that's all questionable. So again, defense, and then even the receiving corps is looking a little banged up now.
Yeah, those couple defensive players you said they're top guys. So
yeah, I mean corner, defensive tackle, and linebacker are kind of your 3 pieces that are huge.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still sticking with Colts here.
I hope so. God, if they don't, I'll be shocked.
I would be too. Then they're in trouble.
Yeah, they'll be in big trouble. So, and it's just not normal for Colts to be like a losing team. So, all right, let's see what our next game is at 1:00. We'll go with Jets versus Browns. Browns are 6.5-point favorites right now. at the Browns. Can Browns start off 2-0?
Yeah. I don't know about 6.5. I don't think I like that right now. I mean, Joe Flacco, we were dogging on him last week, but I mean, he threw for 300 yards. So for not starting a game in however long, that's pretty good. He has the weapons. I mean, that's a good offense on him. So I'm staying away from the spread here, but I do think the Browns can come out 2-0.
See, like, yes, Joe Flacco did well with 307 yards. He was, I'm sorry, 62.7 completion rating. Average throw was 5.2 yards, but 1 interception, 3 sacks. So I have some questions on their offensive lines. Highest receiver, 77 yards. That needs to improve. That means they're catching the ball, but
He's throwing it to a lot of people.
Yeah, well, yeah, 77, 52, 49, 40, 38. To me, what that is that they're catching the ball and not making plays. So, it's up to the receiving core, in my opinion, they need to start making plays.
Yeah.
That's where this is at. I mean, it'd be good to get a little bit more, get Michael Carter, a little bit. He needs to get a little bit more. I mean, he averaged 6 yards a carry, so that's pretty good. He had 10 carries for 60 total yards.
But I think they were trying to split with their rookie, Breece Hall, who was been hyped up.
Yes,
so,
but he's only averaging 3.8.
Yeah.
So it's like either Breece Hall needs to get a little bit better, or you need to run Carter a little bit more, in my opinion. And with that being said, between the two, only 6. So that means there was only 16 run plays. Well, I guess they have one recorded run for Flacco, but I don't think that was a meant to run type of deal. Yeah. So that's not a ton of run plays.
Right.
You need your run game a little bit going, and to get the linebackers to come up to help your receivers out, to help your receivers get a little bit more.
Especially with that defensive line from the Browns. They're going to have to figure something out.
Yes. So to me, How
did the Browns look anyways, Kev? I didn't get to watch the game, so.
Yeah, I just kind of watched highlights and kind of went and rewatched a little bit of it. And, I didn't think they really looked all that great. I didn't think that looked all that good. And, I mean, Chubb was good.
Yeah.
But,
and Hunt. Hunt was really good.
I like the Jets. I don't like them winning this like you guys are saying. But, I mean, 6.5 is kind of a lot, in my opinion. And, I don't know. I just don't think they looked all that great. Yeah, they got the win, but it was kind of a weird week one, like we said, and I don't think the Browns are going to be all that great until they get Deshaun back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I'm more leaning to Browns get the win, maybe not cover the 6.5.
For sure.
And then Jets, like I said, I think that on offense, this is their key week. Can they change on offense? Offensively, defense, they didn't do too bad. I mean, in my opinion, if you can hold teams, I mean, realistically, I like to see teams under 20 points. If you can hold a team under 20 points and you score over 20 points, like in my idea of kind of how that should go, but
the over-under is only 39.5 here.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was like, if I'm going to bet anything on this one, I'm going to bet the over.
Yeah. That was your thing last year, Cav.
This one is definitely not a lot of points.
I stayed away from over-unders week one and went with spreads this year, and his spreads did not work out for me.
So you got to get back.
Over-unders.
Yeah, that might be your key thing. Just stick with over-unders. So, all right, we'll move on. We'll go to Caleb's game. Panthers versus Giants. Cavi, take it away.
Yeah, so this one's tough. I mean, not even just because I'm a Panthers fan, but I mean the Giants have pulled off a pretty good win. So Saquon looks better than ever.
Dude, yeah, no kidding.
And I mean, honestly, I'm biased here, but the Panthers look good. They only looked good for about 2.5 quarters, but the first quarter and a half, they were, I mean, kind of a new offense, getting Christian McCaffrey back, Baker, kind of a brand new offensive line. So, I mean, they really struggled offensively to start out. And I mean, I about it before the show, Panthers were down like 21-3 at halftime or something, and they ended up coming back, and they were leading with like 50 seconds left, and ended up losing. But I mean, offensively they look really good. Defensively they looked good in the secondary. They just kind of need to stop the run a little better. I know it was they played against Chubb, and Saquon's just as good. So I think if we can kind of step up on the run game, we'll be fine here.
Yeah. If I had to put a points on this, I'd take Panthers. I would take them by even 3.
Yeah.
Because I see it. I see Giants are going to put up a fight. I say 24-21 is the final.
So you're putting money line on Panthers?
Yep.
And some more money?
Yep. Same here.
I'd agree. I think if they focus on Saquon a little bit, I don't think Daniel Jones looks that good.
No, Daniel Jones definitely did not look as good, in my opinion, as what they kind of to get the win like they did. I mean, he only had 188 passing yards.
Right, and one of them was like a 70-yard bomb to Sterling Shepard.
Yeah.
So, I mean, take that one play away, all you have is Saquon.
Yeah. Wait, what? How is that possible? So, Sterling Shepard, and the stats here, his total yardage was 71 yards.
Maybe it was a 65-yard.
His one big one was 71 yards. But he had 2 receptions, so that means he had 0 yards on the other reception.
It must have been a screen or something. I don't know.
So, yeah, I mean, you take that away, because he had the most receiving yards. So,
right.
Oh, but, yeah, Barkley just was the one, 164 rushing yards.
Good for him, though. Like, way to come back and prove that he's still the guy.
I mean, the other thing you got to watch out for is, I mean, it looks like they let Jones run in a little bit too, like scrambles, I'm guessing.
Oh, okay.
There were 6 times he scrambled and got, he was averaging 4 yards every scramble. So, I mean, that's a lot of times with your 3 and 5s, that means he's scrambling at those plays most of the time.
Right.
And probably getting it would be my guess. I mean, I didn't watch the game, but so that's the other thing you got to key on.
Another quick thing to add is I was talking to Austin before as well, but Christian McCaffrey played like 90% of the snaps, but in the first half he only got like 3 carries, I think it was. And they put up 0 points basically in the first half. And then once they utilized him in the second half, kind of like they have been, and they should, like Christian McCaffrey is still top 3 running back in the league.
Yeah.
And that opened up way more in the passing game for Baker. And like we were saying, Baker's actually good at utilizing all of his receivers and finding open guys. And that's why they just left. I mean, their offense looked like the top 10 offense in the league in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I don't know. I feel like to be successful in the NFL, you got to have a run game that's getting you at least over 100 yards in running. And it really is great if you have two different backs to rotate between. It makes it even easier. Get one guy that's rushing for about 100 yards, the other one that has 50 or so, but also make the second back maybe a little bit more passing. Right. Back that can catch. Have that second back that can catch.
Yep.
Maybe just a second back that's more well-rounded, I guess. Have your good back that can run the ball, but may not be as good with the blocking or with the receiving. He can just run the ball good. He's gonna get a lot of yards running, and then have the second back that comes in, and he's the type that he's a well-rounded. He's gonna run the ball. He might only average 3 yards a carry versus 5 or 6 like your starter, and then he can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can also pick up the blocks well. Have those 2 types of backs. Have at least 2 good receivers, and then a couple are that can kind of rotate in and out. So that way you got a guy that can sit in the slot and a guy that can be out and go. You need one of your good receivers need to be a type of go guy of just okay. Hey, we're 1-on-1 and it's man to man. I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna make a quick cut and go, and you're just not gonna be able to catch me. And your quarterback has to be able to throw the ball. And extend plays, not necessarily extend by running, but extend at least in the pocket.
Right.
Hey, pocket's collapsing. I can get up to the outside, kind of scramble a little bit, and then
that's why Wilson's so good.
Yeah. So that's the type to be successful, and
Baker couldn't. I don't like Baker. I hate him as a quarterback, but he's got a good arm, and he's one of those guys who can. He's got good pocket skills.
That's where I kind of see with this is Daniel Jones. I think he scrambles a little bit too much. He doesn't sit in the pocket as much and look for the throw. I think he's like, oh shit, the pocket collapsing. I gotta go.
Right.
And so that's why I think you see that he had some runs, and so unless Giants fix that, I think them getting the win this week is kind of a fluke. And I like Panthers on this.
And Panthers, like Caleb just said, they'll get that first week jitters out, and now that they figured out what they need to do to win, how their offense works and how their offense clicks, I think they'll handle them pretty easy.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on. Falcons versus Rams. Right now, Rams are 10.5-point favorites.
Say it, Cav.
That's a lot of points.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I know Falcons didn't look that good, but Rams didn't either. I mean, they started out all right, but then they seemed like to fall apart. Now, I know there was, what was there, 3 interceptions by Stafford, or was there 4?
2 or 3.
I want to say there was 3 because 2 of them were tips. Two of them was, defensive tipped it, and then it got picked off. It got thrown up and picked off. So I can't really blame them for that. It's just that's kind of bad luck anytime that happens to a quarterback. I almost put that. I don't know. I almost think that should be a separate stat when the ball gets batted. That's not a bad throw on the quarterback. Like, interception is meant to be a bad throw on the quarterback.
Right.
And so I almost think when they get batted like that, that should be a defensive stat of batted ball, and then in the like a batted interception, like almost a second type of interception. You think about baseball; they have so many stats for basically the same thing, and they just basically break it down a little bit more.
I'm surprised they haven't put a stat like that,
like a batted interception,
right?
Type
it doesn't
of thing.
count towards
doesn't count against the quarterback, but it counts as a defensive stat. So it's like another stat for the defense to be proud of. Say, hey, we had 3 batted interceptions,
right?
But the quarterback only had 1 interception he threw in the whole game. So it's like,
right? It's almost on the wide receiver at that point.
Yeah,
like it was in your hands.
Yeah,
you didn't catch it.
The times that the receivers go to catch it and they tip it up. It's like, how is that the quarterback's fault?
Right.
Because interception, goes back on the quarterback. I mean, to me, they need to add that stat, basically, because I would like to know how many times that's happened.
Oh,
I mean, think about all the old quarterbacks and stuff that would want that. Right. Be like, hey, I want to have thrown as many interceptions, but...
yeah. But no, I don't know. Even with those couple tipped interceptions, I do not think Matthew Stafford looked like Matthew Stafford.
No, I mean, I know he did, saying preseason and stuff, his arm injury and stuff, but at the same time, it did not look like the same Matthew Stafford last year.
You could see he was looking for a Cooper Kupp every single play because he didn't use any other targets.
That's what he did at Lions, though. He always had his one receiver, and that's who he'd go to.
Yeah, Calvin Johnson. Even last year with Cooper Kupp, he pretty much was doing the same thing, but
in games where he gets put under pressure, and he doesn't know how to make decisions. Like when he's under pressure.
Where's my good guy?
Yep. It's I'm under pressure. Where's my good guy? I'm going there.
Yeah.
Immediately. And he hopes that his good guy can bail him out.
Right. Which honestly, Cooper Kupp looked really good. I think he had 12 catches for like 150 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, he had a ton of his stats were pretty good.
So I mean, he had a really good game, and that is probably because Matthew Stafford was looking for him every single play. But he has Allen Robertson, he has Van Jefferson, he has Higbee, so he's all these playmakers. I think if he utilizes them, they should be able to cover this 10. And then the Falcons. I mean, obviously, we've been saying Falcons have one of the worst teams in the league.
Yeah,
Cordero Patterson, he did surprise the hell out of me. I mean, he had over 100 yards rushing and a touchdown. I did not think he was going to come out like he did last year, but he came out almost better than he did last year. So he's their only weapon. But, yeah, I think if Rams play like the Rams, this should be covered.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think we see a different Rams team this week, in my opinion.
They're going to come out with a ball of fire because they're pissed off from last week. So look for them.
That's what I would think too. And with Damian Williams questionable for the Falcons, I mean that's one of their key running backs. So I don't think it's their starter because they have Patterson, right?
Yeah. Which like I said, he played a hell of a game.
Yeah, I mean he had 120 yards, 1 touchdown, 22 carries, but Mariota only. I mean, he didn't do bad, but
terrible. But it's just a Mariota game.
It's another one of those. What are they doing? I mean, receivers. The one receiver that had the most yardage was 74 yards, and that's under 5 receptions. So
right, he just doesn't. He doesn't throw it very much, and they need to figure out a way to allow him.
He's another one that I don't see. He's like Jones. He doesn't. he doesn't scramble to stay in the pocket to throw the ball. He scrambles to get yardage.
You're right.
He feels the pressure. He bails out of the pocket and goes.
Yeah.
It was like Jones does to me. And so, you can't do that in the NFL. College, you
Right.
can do that.
Yeah.
Good college quarterbacks don't. Like, I mean, and as much as they didn't play great this last week, Bryce Young, that last drive, if you watched him, he was extending plays by he'd roll out of the pocket as it was kind of falling apart, and then
He'd sit outside a pocket.
he would
try to
be
find somebody
outside
open.
of the pocket, looking downfield to throw the ball, and so. Oh, that's what I would say. Yeah, Rams on this one, they should cover. I'd be surprised if they don't. Honestly,
Right. And their defense, I mean, they have one of the best defenses in the league. So
yeah.
that defense against that offense should be covered.
Yeah. All right. I think is that all the 1 o'clock games? Oh, yeah. This was the first 4 o'clock game, anyways. Seahawks versus 49ers.
I'm going to take off.
All right, Kev.
We will talk to you guys later.
Yep. See ya. Yeah. So Seahawks 49ers. Geno Smith versus
Trey Lance.
Trey Lance. I can't believe right now 49ers are 8.5-point favorites, honestly. Now,
Yeah, it was a weird game, though. I mean, we were talking earlier that last week game with the 49ers and Bears, with that rain, I mean, you can't really judge both teams on that.
yeah, I mean,
It's just hard because
yeah.
I think Trey Lance is a lot better than what he showed. Yeah, this is only his first year starting. He didn't really get a lot of playing time last year, but he has good weapons. I mean, he has Debo, Ayuk, George Kittle. So he has the weapons, and I think he has the arm. But I don't know, 8.5. The Seahawks look good. I mean, they played Broncos, who are arguably the best or one of the better teams in the top 5,
Yeah.
offenses in the league. But I think they looked pretty good. And Geno, he didn't look terrible either. He looked really good in the first half. Second half, I don't know.
I don't know if it's because Pete Carroll was the coach, but they had him play smart with. He was the one to hit his receivers and let them do work, and
Right.
they actually did work.
Right.
You know,
He has
Definitely with Metcalf.
DK,
Yeah.
Tyler Lockett. I mean, he
Yeah.
has very good receivers who can do that. So,
That's why passing yards was only 195.
right.
I mean,
Yeah, that first half, like I said, he looked really good the first half. Second half, they kind of locked him down. Corners played a lot better on Denver.
who's running back for 49ers?
He just got hurt.
Yeah,
actually.
Mitchell got hurt.
So now they have Wilson.
Okay.
I can't remember his first name, but yeah. And I think he played a few games last year, and he looked pretty good.
Yeah.
So,
It's just not good when your quarterback is your leading rusher.
yeah.
That's never a good stat.
No.
Also, George Kittle did not take practice Wednesday. Hey, so George Kittle may be out. He's questionable right now. That would be a big hurt.
I think he plays. I hate when they do that questionable crap because it just gets you scared for nothing.
Yeah. So right now, Coach Kyle Shanahan said Kittle with groin. If I can talk right now. Won't take part in practice Wednesday. Ken Inman from the San Jose Mercury News reports.
Yeah. I think 49ers win, but I don't think they win by 8.5.
Yeah.
So I would take Seahawks at 8.5 if you're looking to bet this game, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's my thought. I mean, 6 points takes it up to 14 and a half. Yeah, 14 and a half. So I kind of like that. Takes it up above 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I kind of wouldn't mind taking that as
Yeah, I don't mind that either. And like I said, Seahawks just beat Broncos, who Broncos came into the league with like a top 5 team. So
I can't imagine what that stadium sounded like with the boos. Like I could
Oh,
kind of
I
tell on
know.
TV, but it's like
which I don't see why they would boo Russell. Russell has done so much for that freaking team.
yeah, and like it's not like he purposely left. It's kind
Right.
of, they didn't really come to an agreement on contracts.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was kind of a mutual thing. Like, hey, I mean, you're not happy here.
Yeah.
We can't afford you. We're gonna have to do something.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Bengals versus Cowboys. Dak Prescott's out. Bengals are 7.5-point favorites. They did
Yeah.
not look good, but I think this is a revenge game.
I do too.
The points don't even scare me in this one. I think they win by a couple touchdowns.
I do too, especially with Dak out. Do Dallas have some weapons? Yes. I mean, Zeke, Pollard, that's a great one too. Running back.
Mhm.
They got Gallup and CD. Those are two great receivers. But that quarterback, who's the starter now? I didn't see who they announced.
I don't know. I didn't really think I've seen it either.
It doesn't even matter who they announced. He's not Dak.
Yeah.
And
I don't know. To me,
I
Dak's
think-
been in the league long enough. I don't know. To me, he's not a Super Bowl quarterback.
all right.
He might be able to lead you to playoffs, but he's not going to be the Super Bowl
Right.
finisher. They need to find someone that can help him get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And I think Joe Burrow brushes off that performance from last week. He adds another 320-yard game with 4 touchdowns. I mean, that Bengals team is good.
Yeah. Let's see for Cowboys. See if they announced. QB. So Will Greer, I think, is gonna get the start.
Will Greer?
Yeah.
Really?
Played for West Virginia.
Yep. That's Cavie's boy. He loves Will Greer.
So.
I watched. He started a couple games on the Panthers, and
Yep.
he wasn't good. So,
So
I don't-
hopefully he's turned some things around.
yeah. I think, like you said, Bengals come out. This is almost a revenge game from week 1 because that was just.
I mean, I kind of think that, anytime there's always, to me, the Super Bowl hangover, whether you win or
Right.
lose. There's like the Rams Thursday night game, and they had all of the Super Bowl hanging the banner and all
Yeah,
that
right.
hype. And actually, there wasn't a ton of Rams fans. If you looked, it almost looked like it was either 50-50 or more Bills fans in that stadium.
Yeah. Because that was such a hype game. I mean, people were just pumped for that.
And I mean, I guess it's LA, so
Right.
it's like kind of one of those things. I don't know. To me, I would like to see the Rams team move as a team. The only time you get all the celebrities and stuff there is when they're winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, right.
Brings out all the celebrities, jacks the tickets way up. So,
But yeah, no, I'd have to agree. 7.5. I feel like Bengals can cover that pretty easy.
all right, we'll move on. Texans versus Broncos. Broncos are 10-point favorites.
God, this is another one. It was like compared to what they played like last week, they won't cover it, but I feel like they should cover it very
They
easy.
should. I blame that on the coach and Russell Wilson not
Oh yeah.
not standing up. I mean, I know.
Yeah, there were so many terrible. It was man,
that
it
whole
was
last
a
drive.
weird game by the Broncos. They played that so stupid.
Yeah, they did. It was
so stupid.
It was crazy how they played it. Personally, definitely with having like one of the best quarterbacks. Like
Yeah.
I know Russell's getting up there and everything, and he probably will only be in a couple more years, and he'll probably be out. But you cannot tell me that you're not going to trust your quarterback to get that 4th and 5
Especially with the weapons he has.
with 2 timeouts and stuff.
Sutton, Judy. I mean,
the other thing is, why did they not call timeouts? Why did they let the clock run down
let
so
that-
far?
Yeah, they had 3 timeouts. Call a freaking timeout.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something weird was going on there. I didn't like what was happening, but
That, I mean, yeah,
they
so
should easily cover this. I'm
staying away from it, but they should cover it, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
as Cavi would say, that's a lot of points in the NFL. So
Yeah. Moving on, still a 4 o'clock game. Last 4 o'clock game is Arizona Cardinals versus Raiders. Good matchup
this is gonna
between
be
Murray
a good
and
game.
Carr.
I'm curious. I think this is going to be a game. I'm curious to see how Cardinals will handle it though,
Yeah.
because this is another good team that they have to play.
Yeah.
And they played the Chiefs last week, who was
Yeah.
really good. So do they?
Carr needs to clean up his interceptions.
Yeah,
Because, I mean, he threw 295 yards and 2 touchdowns, but he had 3 interceptions.
right. And
So,
that could just be first game. Got a new weapon with Devontae. He was just trying to throw it up to his new teammate, who
Yeah.
he played with him in college. So he was just trying to see their connection and stuff. So I think he does clean that up this week. And I like the Raiders here. I like them at 5.5.
I'm leaning towards them. He needs to clean up his interceptions, got to get Josh Jacobs running the ball a little bit more.
Yep.
Those would be my two things. And I know you have a weapon in Devontae Adams now on the receiving core, but you got to get, 10 carries at 57 yards.
Right.
To me, NFL, again, needs to have about 20 run plays.
Yeah. And with Josh Jacobs is a great running back.
I think it's like you average like 50 to 60 runs in a NFL or plays in the NFL.
Right.
Oh, you got to have at least about a quarter of those runs.
Yeah. And, like I said, Jacobs he can handle the load.
Yeah, he
He's
can
a good
handle
running
those.
back.
So I would like, realistically, it'd be about 15 runs, 15 carries for him.
Yeah.
And that's pushing him. It's up to at 15 carries, he should be over 100 yards.
Right. Yeah.
So.
No, I agree. And then Cardinals on their end, they got to figure out who their receiver is. Without D-Hop in there,
Yeah.
they have Hollywood Brown, who that's another one coming back to his college quarterback. Him and Kyler played together in college. So if he can get open more, I think they can make it a close game. But I'm still favoring Raiders here. They're looking really good this year.
I was just trying to see for running backs for them.
I think their starter was James Conner. So I know James Conner did really well last year, but he's another one. Even when he was on the Steelers, he was kind of up and down. He had good fantasy years, but
Yeah. Yeah, 10 attempts for 26 yards is just not going to get it done.
Right. But the Chiefs kind of shut him down. The Chiefs' defense looked really good.
All right, we'll move on. Bears versus Packers. Right now, Packers are 10-point favorites, but with the way these two teams played,
I know.
I would not say that.
Honestly, Bears look good considering the weather. So if they can play like that without the weather, who knows?
Yeah.
Get their playmakers out there a little bit better because they weren't able to run. They weren't able to throw. Honestly, both teams couldn't really do anything.
Yeah, both teams stat-wise. Justin Field was only 121 yards.
Right.
for
they
passing.
couldn't do anything. So, I don't know. But the Packers looked like crap. They look so bad.
Well, and I blame it on the receiving core mainly.
Yeah, they don't
Because
have any.
They had that bomb early that hit the receiver right in the hands.
The
that would've
rookie
been a touchdown.
Watson, yeah.
It's like you gotta catch those.
Right. And that's another one. I think I've said it for every other game, but first week jitters, man. Got to get those out. And with them having very young receiving core, they have two rookies who are supposed to be their number 1 and 2, and then they have Lazard, who has been like a number 3 receiver ever since he's on Green Bay, moving up to that top spot. And then Randall Cobb, who is like 30 years old, So they just need to get that receiving core, get the jitters out, get a better connection with Aaron Rodgers, and I think they'll start to pick it up. I do think they're going to win this game. It could be by 10, but it scares me a little bit.
I like Packers at least by 3. I don't know. I wouldn't take the 10.
Yeah.
I would tease it down. Tease it down gets you down to 4, but
Right. I like them at least by a touchdown, probably more, though. I wouldn't be scared to bet the -10 for Packers.
I would tease it down. I'd at least get it down to -4. All right, we'll move into Monday night because there's 2 Monday night games this week. We got Titans.
That's weird. Why?
They just sometimes do it early in the season. They put 2 Monday nights and they start one earlier than the other.
There's no buys and stuff, probably.
Yeah. So you got Titans and Bills.
These are 2 really good matchups. Dang.
Yeah, Titans and Bills for game 1 at 7:15. Buffalo Bills are currently sitting at 10-point favorites.
I think Bills definitely win.
I would say, again, they're going to win. I think Titans turning around a little bit, though, and it's closer than 10 points.
Yeah, I agree. I think Bills win by at least a touchdown. I don't know. That 10 points on this game scares me. But yeah, Titans definitely turning around. They're another one who is figuring out their wide receiving core.
Mm-hmm.
They just got Woods, so he's supposed to be their number 1, but he doesn't have that connection. Their second option's a rookie, so again, doesn't have that connection with Tannehill. So as long as they get that connection built.
Henry did all right, but I would like to see a little bit more.
Yeah.
He had 21 carries, so that's a great amount of carries.
Right.
Carries, in my opinion, but only
You can
82.
see he was timid.
82 yards, Yeah, he almost looked like hesitation.
Yeah, he was trying to Definitely trying to avoid contact. I mean, obviously you're trying to avoid contact, but
like
you know,
in early, like I guess he was like hesitant early to me,
right,
and not making a decision.
And this one he was trying to use his agility more than his power,
Yeah.
which is that's not who he is.
He needs to go back to hitting the hole hard early, and then as you kind of get through that initial run, then
yeah, and
use your agility. Then
now that he's got the first game out, I think he definitely turns that around and does it.
yeah,
So
because for him to be under 100 yards is just
I know, but I mean, 80 yards is still really good. I mean,
yeah, in the
that's
NFL
impressive.
is good.
It's coming off an injury. It's impressive, but I don't know. It's just weird because it's Derrick Henry, you know.
No. All right, we'll go into Minnesota versus Philly.
Both these teams looked very good last week.
Yeah.
I am kind of leaning towards Vikings, though, because I think they looked more impressive. I mean, Eagles played Lions, and they only beat the Lions by 3. So,
But how good are the Lions?
I think the Lions are
I think they're better than
okay.
last year.
They're 1,000% better than last year. I mean, they looked pretty good, honestly.
What was their early predicted record? Like
6 and whatever.
Yeah. That's
So-
kind of where I put them.
Yeah, and
For a 17 game, it's like 6 and
and the
11. It's
Vikings
kind of where I
just
put them.
ran over the Packers, who Packers are supposed to be like 11+ wins.
I don't see the Packers doing that.
Right, but I think they're better than Lions.
I think you look at this with, I guess I'll know a little bit more this week when I look. I think for this, what is it, NFC East? Is it for the Lions and all them? Or what is it?
They're the North.
The North. NFC North is going to be pretty up in the air for all the teams.
Yeah, especially with how Packers just played.
Normally, I would say, hey, Lions, Bears are fighting for last place. Packers, Vikings kind of fighting for first place type of deal is how I would normally put
Packers
it.
usually run away with it.
To me, unless Packers, I'm gonna see how week 2 goes. But right now, if I went off week 1, and I say Packers are looking at about a 6 to 8 win season.
I think they at least pull off 8.
Hey, so that's about where I was putting them, about 8. Put Lions at about 6. I put Bears at about 6, and then I put Vikings around 8 or so.
I think they're getting 10. I like the Vikings here. I'm taking moneyline Vikings because I think they can win this. Like I said, I feel like if we're comparing the losing teams, Lions and Packers,
Yeah.
like you just said, Packers are way better than the Lions, and Vikings blew them out. So
If it was at Vikings, I would take Vikings. But because it's at Eagles, I'd take Eagles. I would only do money line. I don't know. I mean, I guess 2 points isn't a lot, but
right. I mean, if they're gonna win,
they're
might as
gonna-
well.
yeah.
Just do.
So I'd probably just take the spread to get a little bit better odds. But so I like Eagles on this one.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Vikings. We'll see. This is a good week. I mean, there's a lot of pretty good matchups. I'm curious just to see because last week was so weird.
Well, I think we have a lot of good matchups because we're still like, okay, what's gonna happen
Right.
for a lot of games?
Yeah, exactly. Like I mean,
And we have a lot of conference matchups too this
Yeah.
week, so that always throws a wrench in things too.
right? Yeah.
So, all right, we'll go bet time. I have Cavi's bet. He texted me that. We all lost, so we're all down $5.
Yeah, I know. We need our little screen.
I know.
It's fine.
So, mine this week, it's a 4-game parlay. I'm taking Steelers and moving them up to +8. Taking Commanders up to +7.5. Taking Dolphins and taking them up to 9.5. And I'm taking Panthers up to 8. So all plus points. So I'm taking underdogs on all these.
Yeah.
These. So $5 to win $18 plus 260.
That's
my bet.
I mean, very reasonable bet.
So it's another
You're just
reasonable
trying
bet.
to get your money back.
I'm basically, I'm trying to earn my loss last week. Because that's my goal. My goal is not to hit the one big one like you and Caleb are strategizing for. My goal is to kind of like
Hey, it worked out last year.
inch our way up, and then hopefully I'm up, at the end of the season, and you guys have lost all your money because you've lost most of the weeks.
It worked for us last year.
Yeah, it did. Caleb's taking Carolina money line, Steelers money line, Vikings money line, Seahawks plus 9.5, and Chicago plus 10. It's plus 3,126, $5 to win $161.33.
I hope that wins. On paper, it looks good.
Yeah, man. Last week mine looked good on paper.
Yeah, same. I'm going a different route. I'm actually going to do a same game parlay.
Okay.
So, same game parlay for Thursday because I want to see that money in my bank so I can put more towards the weekend.
Yeah.
But so I'm going Thursday game. My same game parlay is 7 legs. So I got Juju Smith to score at any time. Both Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes to get 2+ passing touchdowns. Both Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert to get plus 250 passing yards. Let's see what here. Last two, Juju to get over 44.5 receiving yards, and each team to score over 2.5 touchdowns. So, going to be a high-scoring game. It's plus 550. So, $5 wins me $32.50. So I'm going in between you both.
Out of all of that, the one that scares me of your bet is 2.5 touchdowns for Chargers.
I know. That's the only one that scares me. I think everything can happen, but that 2.5 is really like, man, can both teams score 3 touchdowns?
Yep. Like, I think it's going to be a good game. I think winning team does have over 3 touchdowns. Like, I could see 3 touchdowns for Chiefs with, like, a couple field goals.
Yeah.
Type of deal. Or, like, one. Yeah, so it's, like, 28 to,
right,
like, 21 type of game.
I can see
so it's, like, 49 points. And that's right. I guess that's right about what they're putting it at with, I think, 48.5 is what the over-under's at. So, because that Chiefs defense is pretty good.
It is pretty good. And so is Chargers, though. I mean, Chargers definitely improved. But, yeah, my reasoning behind it was Patrick Mahomes just threw 5 touchdowns. So let's say he only throws 3.
Yeah.
Well, there's 3 touchdowns for Chiefs. And I got Justin Herbert 2+ touchdowns. So let's say he does throw only 2 touchdowns. Well, now they can run 1 win.
Yeah.
That's very reasonable. So, I mean, it should be like that for every team. But, I mean.
I mean, I think any team that scores 3 touchdowns should get the win. It's just always how well does your defense play. Yeah, so
we'll see.
That'll be close. I think
I can get maybe. Yeah, I can maybe.
I think you're gonna be close this week. I don't think we're gonna have where it's only 1 leg on that one. I think you're gonna have like how many? You said 7 legs. That is.
Yeah.
I see right now. I would predict 5 out of the 7 hit.
Yeah.
So I think you're gonna be sweating
what are
this
the odds
one.
Of that. Can you bet on that? Can you bet on how many legs?
Can I bet on how many legs Austin's just bet? So
different route. I'm doing the same game. I don't know. I feel like I've been doing really well with same games.
Yeah, you hit that one. What was that one last week that you hit?
It was $5 to win me 70.
70.
So and that one hit.
That was good. Definitely a good way to start off at least.
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna stick to that route. I know I almost hit one with the Lions, but AJ didn't score. So if that one would have hit, say AJ scored, I would have won about $200.
Yeah. And then I had one for, what did I say? What game was it? I can't remember now. Oh, the Monday night game.
Oh, yeah.
I just needed Russell Wilson to score. $5 would have won me $130.
Jeez. And he's not like, he can run it in.
He does. And I guess when I was like watching and stuff, it's like think about it. Ever since he had an ankle injury, 3 years ago, I think it was now. Oh, that he had an ankle he got hurt and had surgery. He hasn't ran as much since then.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I should have thought of that.
Right.
I mean,
and he's
getting up there.
32 years old, so.
Yeah. He's always been one that's another guy that's, yes, he can move, he can scramble.
Right.
But he does it to extend the play to be able to pass the ball.
Oh,
He doesn't always just take off.
Yeah, and you saw that even in, on their last game on Monday.
So, nope. I'm interested to see how week 2 goes. As I say, it's been great having football. It's always great when you have football 5 or 4 days out of the week,
it's
5 days out of the week. So
I know these next 2 days suck because there's no football.
I know we need to start having college football on Wednesday nights again, Nick. They need to bring that back. Mac, come on. Mac action on Wednesday nights we need.
I know. Why don't they do that anymore?
I think they still do. I think it just comes later. They just kind of start off early with the Saturday games, and then they switch them early towards the end of the season. So, but yeah, because we'll have to have those start playing while we're sitting here. So, but all right. Well, thanks for joining me, and this is another week of Sports Talk.